We live, boys. We live. Let me just make sure I got everything all set up here. Hello, everyone that's joining in from chat. I'll pull up chat right now. We got people still joining in and stuff, so we'll have that set up pretty soon. We start in like 4 minutes, so yeah. Where the hell is Twitch chat? There it is. Okay. We should be good. I think I'm good. For those of you in chat, if there's any like audio issues, like say if I'm too loud or any of our guests are too loud, like please let us know in chat, and like I can mess with their audio levels, and that could be fixed very, very quickly. If the music is too loud or something as well, or if it's not loud, also let me know. I actually will be here this time. I'll be co-hosting along with Viper. But yeah, for now we're gonna just vibe. We're gonna just vibe in here, you know. Again, if my audio sounds too low or too high, just let me know in chat. I can fix that. And then when I hop in the VC with everybody else, which should be pretty soon because we have everybody in there, let me know about their audio levels too. Wavy says he'll gift the sub to the next Oracle. Alright, we'll hold you to that. I forgot to do votes last week, so I couldn't do it. We start in 3 minutes. How's chat doing? How are you MPC fellas doing? We probably shouldn't say we're streaming Rocket League because we're not. This is more like just chatting. What do you guys think? I think I'll keep it on Rocket League actually. Got the outline here. There we go. Okay. Just waiting for the PM from my co-host. We should be good. Hello, Penguin. How are you doing? How's the rest of chat doing? You guys excited? If you want to go ahead, but don't ask questions now. When we ask, which is usually near the end of the show, go ahead and ask questions. We'll also be taking questions from our Discord. If you're not in our Discord already, you can ! Discord in chat, and you'll get an invite to our Discord. That's where we do everything. But yeah, let me go ahead and actually drop that now. ! Discord. There it is. If you're watching and you're not in the server, there it is. Free agent applications are open, so if you're interested in playing, you can go ahead and fill one out, and maybe there's a chance a team can pick you up, or you can ring for a team and play on stream or something. You never know. Let's see, what else do we got? I don't think we have anything else. I'm just waiting for the go ahead to undeafen here. I think we should be okay. I'm interested to see what you guys think about next week's matches, and predictions and stuff. I'm interested to see what our hosts have to say about it, as well as you guys. Let me get my mic a little closer. I have a mess on my desk. We jamming. Also, I still have not fixed the Twitch points and stuff yet. I still have to do that, so I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are complaining about Twitch point stuff. Where's the Twitch point stuff? Like, I'll get around to it eventually, man. I got a lot of in real life stuff that's interfering with that right now. Leave me alone. Get off my back. But yes, we should be starting soon. I'm just waiting for can't speak again. I'm just waiting for the go ahead. And I will undeafen because I am in chat with everyone right now, but you guys can't see that. Where are my Twitch points? I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Also, if there's anyone, let me say this for like the 4th time in this stream. If there's anyone that's like too loud or anyone that's like overbearing in the comms and stuff during the show, let me know. I will lower the volume on my end, and it should fix everything. Alright, we're good to go. So let me go ahead and get us in here. Well, let me lower the music. The music's a little bit loud, actually. That's fine. Okay.
I'm waiting for my buddies in the back of the
we're
class.
good. We're good. We're live, boys and girls.
All right. Beautiful. All right. Hey, everyone. This is Viper. And again, we have another episode coming at you. MPC Overtime. As always, I'm Viper. Octo, joining me on the co-host.
Hello, I'm Octo, other owner of the Manfield Pro Circuit.
True. Any truers?
True.
This week we have two new guests who are not playing each other this week. So Noot and Nexus, introduce yourselves. Whoever wants to go first.
Take the stage.
The gentleman, yes.
Listen.
Oh, me? I'm Noot. I don't know what else to say. Hello, everyone.
What is your position?
Yes. I'm a manager. I'm the manager for Toronto Ice, #1 team in the league right now. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've
only played 2 weeks, but don't worry about it. So anyway.
Okay, we'll keep it. It's fine.
Hey guys, I'm Nexus. I am the it's a shout over there. I'm the captain for the San Francisco Sharks, and let's go Sharks.
Beautiful. I like it. I love the enthusiasm.
Yep.
She said, "Put some respect on my name." And so yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's kind of go over how this episode's going to work. Again, it shouldn't be crazy long. We're just going to go over we're going to keep following the same format for all the episodes going forward. So we're going to talk about the week 2 recap. We're going to talk about matches to watch for week 3, and we're going to take questions from our chat, Manfield OT Q&A channel, Disc or Twitch, whatever. We'll take questions from there. So let's get right into it though. So week 2, so for those that I wrote the outline for, I called this episode Upset Central. So I noticed that a lot of these matches didn't exactly go the way that we all planned. So I guess, Noot, I'll start out with you. So how did all these matches surprise you, or which one surprised you the most, I guess?
Hey.
I don't know actually. I was watching most of them from a first-person perspective at Trigger's house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think actually mine surprised me the most. Is that bad?
No, I think that's totally valid. I think a lot of us were expecting that game to be pretty close, but I mean, you guys put on a dominant performance.
Yeah,
it was absolutely insane. What about you, Nexus? What did you think?
Guys, what happened? Can we pull up the week 2 predictions here for the Sharks?
Week 2 predictions? Hold up. I don't want to spoil the current prediction. Let me go ahead and do that.
We were in the gutters, and I get it, guys. Terrible performance week 1. We went into the New York match kind of expecting a pretty good fight, and that's what we got. And yeah, I'm glad we could at least show the league that we had what it takes, for our position.
Wow.
Yeah, the 3-0 with the Ice, that was pretty impressive. Not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be a 3-2 there, so round of applause there. And yeah, I don't know. I would say those are the two that I was kind of focused on. Obviously, me being in the Sharks match, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I will say something right now. If you can only watch one match, and this is not disrespect to Noot and Nexus, go watch that Vipers Aces game. Oh my god.
That was a nail biter for sure.
I was casting it literally game 5 overtime. It was absolutely insane. Seriously, go watch that match. It was crazy close. Hats off to both teams. Aces definitely looked a lot better than they did in week 1. And that's kind of been the theme this week. A lot of the teams that were really strong in week 1 kind of fell behind in week 2. So I want to hear the input from you guys, Noot and Nexus. Why do you think that was? Do you think it was just a weird week? Teams are still adjusting to each other, or what do you think it is?
Yeah, I think it's pretty early on, so I don't think people are really going to settle in until week 4-ish. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of variance until later in the season, I think.
Yeah, you're trying out different people. Sorry. Yeah. I was trying to add on to what you were saying. You're trying out different people, you're putting subs in, you're taking other people out. I know a lot of people use ringers as well, so that's a whole thing.
Tilted.
Yes. Shout out the super sub Tilted.
Yeah,
get that man on a team.
I know, right?
So yeah, unfortunately the Hunter's Orbit game was played off stream, but it looked like a doozy from what I saw. And you'll notice, I'll just clarify this now. So you'll notice that in the scores it should be a 3-2. However, there were some rulebook incidents that happened, so we ended up settling on a 3-1 scoreline for the Orbit. Because game differential is going to matter, believe it or not, especially with how week 2 went. Most of the teams are close back to even. Obviously, there are a couple teams, Ice included, that are still 2-0. So hats off to you guys. And I gotta say, man, even with the Halos playing like kind of like a sub roster and not playing with Banterrain, like being 2-0 with this tough of a beginning schedule is actually kind of miraculous because they also play the Thunder in week 3. So they're playing like all 3 of the hyper carry rosters like back to back to back to back, which is like insane that they've managed to not lose a game yet. But we'll talk about those games later on. So I guess you kind of already touched on your game Nexus with the Thunder and how you guys kind of prepared for it. So Noot, we kind of mentioned that you thought the game was going to be closer. So
It was, yeah.
kind of talk to me about that.
Well, I don't know. I didn't expect Calgary, or I would say I didn't expect my team to pop off that much. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be maybe like a 3-1, 3-2 kind of moment there, but I don't know. Just stuff happened.
That's fair. No, stuff definitely did happen. Like Wavy definitely gifted you guys game 1 with that own goal. It's definitely very unlucky. But yeah, like especially like games 2 and 3, it looks like you guys just started running away with it, which was, I don't know, it's pretty crazy. So I'm very interested to see how the Blaze are going to bounce back. And then obviously Revolt Deadeye's game. Deadeye's had a sub again. I think this is a team that I'm definitely trying to keep my eye on because they have a potential for a lot of changes. Because like we haven't even seen Skylar play yet, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that roster looks at actual full strength going forward. So yeah, any final thoughts on week 2's games?
Not really.
Not all at once.
Yeah, I'm good.
I expected the
What
Sharks
about you,
Thunder
Nexus?
game. I thought the Sharks Thunder game would have been much closer. You know, I originally had the Thunder taking that, but you know, I didn't expect the Sharks to bounce back as fast as you guys did. You guys just kind of, you know, brushed that first result off, and you said, you know what, we're gonna play like we should be playing, and you guys, you know, took it to the Thunder. And even with Kuko like being that super duper hyper carry that he was in week 1, you know, you guys kind of shut him down in last week's game.
Yeah, honestly, week 1 was just terribly off for all of us. We hadn't even played that bad in a long time individually. And then we didn't even really scrim the week coming up to week 2 games. We just kind of did our own thing, and then we played 3 threes games, and then an hour's worth of like Lethamir's rings map, and then we played the game. And then it went well. We raced each other on the rings, and it went well, apparently. So,
understandable. Understandable, I like it. So yeah, but I will reiterate, seriously, go back and watch that Aces Vipers game. It was crazy. I just can't understate how insane that game was to watch. And I couldn't even imagine how crazy it was to play in. So definitely go back and watch that game. It is well worth your time.
Shameless plug. If you don't want to watch it on Twitch, you can also check it out on our YouTube channel. We're uploading our VODs there, so if you want to go ahead and drop a sub over there, we're going to be uploading all of our, archiving all our games and stuff from this season, hopefully, over there. So, yeah, watch the game over there.
What's the channel's name?
It is RL Pro Circuit, if you want to go ahead and check it out.
It's true. It's also in our important links.
Yeah, on our Discord, which if you don't have our Discord, exclamation mark Discord in chat, and it'll bring over our Discord.
True. So, yeah, like... Also, this podcast is available on Spotify. So I will be posting this episode on Spotify as soon as we are done. It takes a couple hours to process and everything like that, but it will be there. Our other episodes are on there as well. So if you're interested in not having to keep Twitch up and use Spotify, that is an option for you. So yeah, I guess let's move on from the shameless plugs. And let's get into the meat and potatoes. That is week 3. And man, I gotta say, we got some banger matches this week. I'm excited. Like, I don't know about you guys. I think that's like the beauty of this league so far is like we haven't really seen like a truly dominant team emerge. And I think that's really good because I know last season, like I'd say after like 2 weeks around this time, like there was a clear front runner. Like the Orcas were clearly out and ahead of every team. For those of you that don't know, the Orbit used to be called the Seattle Orcas, but you know we did a rebrand and stuff, so that's some season 1 lore for you. And so yeah, I guess let's talk about our predictions for this week because a lot of us are in agreement for a lot of these matches. So I guess Octo, if you want to start off, we'll just go in order. I say like go Octo, me, the Newt, and then Nexus.
All right, I'll try and keep this short and simple. All right, for our first match, we got the Seattle Orbit facing up against the Toronto Ice, coming off of their first win in the league. Congrats to the Orbit. Although they did take that first win, I don't feel like they'll be able to take a match off of the, as Newt mentioned earlier, the first place team in the league at the moment. They're just looking too strong. You know, they took down the Calgary Blaze with these, and I can't even see the Orbit take down the Blaze at the moment currently. But you know, I do definitely see the Orbit taking a game off or a game or two off. You know, I can maybe see a game 5, but I can probably just see a 3-1 result here. You know, I do want to see Orbit put up a good fight. Hopefully that win does like rejuvenate their mental and they kind of like start to improve vastly, because I do want to see that for the Orbit. Because a lot of people are like giving them a lot of like flack and saying they're like the bottom tier team or like they're not that good or anything, but like they've been putting out results recently, and I hope to see them turn it around. But for this match, I got the Ice. Moving on to the next match, we got the Blaze versus the Revolt. This is gonna be close because I think they both came off of losses last week, right?
Yes.
So I think it's just a question of like who bounces back the hardest, and you know, Boston did look strong in their game against Dallas, although they did drop that match. The Blaze, though, they did not look that strong. You know, that flame they had was kind of squashed out by the Ice, if you want to throw a little funny little thing in there. All right.
They were extinguished by the Ice. Jeez. Okay.
But, you know, this game could go either way for me, as well as the next game, which I'll touch on in a bit. But for now, I got the Blaze. You know, I have my trust in Iceman and Dex and the boys over there. But, you know, Boston can keep it pretty close, and I could see them taking it as well. Going on to the next game, we got Aces versus the Deadeyes. The Aces looked really, really, really strong against their game versus the Vipers. It was, right, in that Game 5 match last week.
Yes.
Man, they could have taken that game. It was so close. Like Viper,
there were a lot of opportunities for both of those teams to take that match.
Yeah, definitely. So as Viper said before, go ahead and watch that match again. But you know, Aces are still winless in the league so far, and I feel like this is their week to, you know, kind of emerge and pull out their first win against the Deadeyes. But the Deadeyes aren't going to give it up easily, I think. You know, with Yokaizen on that roster, as I talked about last week, he's kind of that X factor. You know, you don't know whether he's going to pop off or throw you games, and I feel like it's going to be the same thing this week. So depending on how he plays and how the team plays around him, that's like the big question mark for me there. Because the Aces,
Savage as always.
Yeah, the Aces do have a really, really strong defense, and the Deadeyes have a very hyper like offense. So I'm interested to see how that clashes together during their match. I definitely do want to watch that. But for now, I got the Aces. The defense is just too strong for me, I think. They'll keep it close though. The Sharks versus the Hunters, though, I can't really see the Hunters taking this. I mean, there could be a chance. You know, maybe I'll give them a map or two, but at the moment, the Sharks are looking strong. They took down the Thunder, who everyone thought was like at least a top 2 team.
Let's go Sharks. Let's go.
You know, Sharks. I got the Sharks winning that one. But moving on to our next match, speaking of the Thunder, they're going to go up against the Miami Thrashers. Miami Thrashers have been looking really, really strong against, you know, those as you mentioned earlier, those hyper carry teams. But I feel like Thunder is going to have the edge in this match. Kuko is a really good player, and if he does actually show up this match, like, I can't see the Miami Thrashers taking it. But hey, you never know. I said that week 1 about their game versus the Halos. Wait, I have that wrong, I think.
You think about the Vipers.
The Vipers.
You think about the Thrashers face the Vipers.
Yeah, Vipers. There we go. Everyone was hyping the Vipers up because they had their hyper carry, but the Thrashers did take that game. But you know, the Halos have been building synergy. It seems like the Thunder have been building synergy. I was looking at the wrong match. Kuko seems to have his team, you know, pretty well synergized, and they all seem pretty cool with each other. But as do the Thrashers. But you know, at the end of the day, I see the Thunder taking that. Moving on to our last match, we got the Vipers versus the Halos. This is gonna be interesting because it's 2 hyper carry teams like clashing against one another. Unless American Banter doesn't make it to this game too, that'd be a very different result, I feel like. But even then, I feel like these rosters are fairly similar. But I kind of like Banter more on as an individual player than I do Avion. Although Avion is a very, very talented player. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to discredit him or his team in any way. They're both very, very strong players. But I just see Atlanta taking that, in my opinion.
All right. So I'll go through mine quickly as well. So Orbit Ice, I don't think this is going to be close. I think the Orbit are barely going to take a game off of them. I just don't think the Orbit have really shown us enough. Like, they took Hunters to 5, and both of these teams are at the bottom right now. So unless the Orbit come out with something completely new, I don't think this is going to be very close. Blaze Revolt, I think this is arguable for match of the week, besides our last 2 matches, because both of these teams are bouncing back from a loss. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can recover. That's why I think this game is going to be so close. But obviously, it depends on what the Revolt brings to the table and if the Blaze can bounce back. Because I really don't think we saw even a fraction of what the Blaze can do against the Ice. I just think they look completely off in that series. Aces Deadeyes, I think this is where the Deadeyes luck finally runs out. They've been barely scraping by with some of these matches. Like, they barely got a team together for the game. So it shows me that they're not practicing enough together. And I think that mechanical skill is going to run out against the Aces defense, and I think that's why they're going to win. Sharks Hunters, I don't think this match is going to be close. I believe this is not the week that Hunters get their first win, in my opinion. I think the Sharks look too strong after their match against the Thunder. Even though the Thunder didn't look the best, that's not to discredit the Sharks' performance. They put on a clinic, an offensive clinic at that. I mean, the last game was 5-0 for crying out loud. So, I mean, their offense is definitely clicking, and it's really going to be interesting to see how they play against this team. Thrashers New York, speaking of luck, I think the Thrashers' luck is finally going to run out because they're going to play an actual full squad. Because if you think about it, right, Thrashers week 1 against the Vipers, they had a ringer in. And then week 2, the Halos weren't even at full strength. They didn't have Banter playing. And now they're finally going to face a true full team with Kuko at the helm. And I think this is where their luck finally runs out. And then Vipers Halos, I think this is going to be match of the week. If Avion and Banter both show up, I think this is going to be a crazy close match. So, all right, Noot, what you got for me?
Well, I haven't seen most of the games from week 2, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really elaborate on, why I thought this would happen. But okay, Toronto and Orbit, of course, I root for my own team because, well, we're number 1, just saying.
But if you didn't vote for your own team, I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried if you were voting Orbit against the Ice. I'd be a little.
Yeah, I'm like, we might not 3-0 them this time, but we'll 3-1. It's pretty close. We're okay. And then Calgary and Boston, that's an interesting thing because they both won a game, correct? So Boston won week 1 and Calgary. Actually, no, they both won week 1.
Yes, correct. So they're both 1-1 right now.
Yeah. So I feel like Boston might be Calgary, honestly, just because of, their performance last week. Aces and Deadeyes, I feel like Deadeyes have this one. I don't know who's going to be on the roster. Yokaisen said he might not be. So I'm actually not sure now. I might have to change that one.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then Minnesota Hunters and Sharks. Of course, I root for the Sharks. Minnesota Hunters haven't been doing that well. I'm sorry, Othos, but... and Thrashers and New York Thunder. Originally, I was actually going to pick the Thrashers to win this one, but now that you're talking about like Thunder and how they're popping off and all that kind of stuff, I feel like they might take it. And then Vipers and Halos. Okay, this one is the most... suspenseful one. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, I'm looking forward to this one the most. Yeah,
that works.
Yeah, like you said, they're hyper carry teams, and I don't know who's playing, but I feel like it's going to be a really, really close game. Halos probably will beat the Vipers, but you never know. And that's all.
All right, Nexus, last but certainly not least.
All right. Thank you.
Let's hear it.
All right, so I think Toronto's going to be taking this one, as you can see. I think they'll be able to carry some momentum from last week, use that the 3-0 into their next week games. The Blaze and the Revolt game, I think that's going to be very close. We know Scrim and the Revolt, they're a pretty strong team, but I like the pop-off potential with the Blaze roster. Dallas Deadeyes, I mean, we know Yokaisen's not going to be on there, so could kind of hurt the team a little bit. I think it's going to go 3-1 for the Aces. For the Sharks, I mean, it's my own team. I have to, Not that I just have to.
I like the confidence. I'm
confident, right? All right.
I hope you wouldn't vote against your team.
No, never. Right, for Sharks, Thrashers, they're undefeated as of right now, aren't they?
Yes, they are 2-0.
Right? Okay, yeah. So initially, I would have guessed this to be a 3-1, but now knowing the whole undefeated fact, I think it could be close. But I think Kuko is going to give them quite a bit of difficulty on defense there. Like them being on defense, so I feel like he's going to be able to really help the team pull through there. And then the Halos and Vipers, I think that's going to be a very close one. I like the combination of Doc and Banter, while kind of Herbs, the Herb is the water boy, moral support guy.
Oh no,
big third man. Yeah, I think the Halos are going to pull out on top on that one.
All right. So I guess let's talk about some interesting things. So we all have the Thunder and the Halos winning in these games, which I thought was pretty interesting. And pretty much almost all of us said that the Thrashers Thunder and the Vipers Halos games were going to be game fives. So we might be seeing a lot of champions field this weekend. Because I noticed that like the only sweep that all of us actually put the same thing for the Sharks Hunters game. I think we're just. So do you think it's like just because like you think they're going to be that dominant and the Hunters haven't looked that good and they haven't won a game yet, or like I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about that.
I don't want to talk over anybody. Okay, so I mean, I'm pretty confident in our team. I know we have that strong offense, so we're pretty decent on defense as well. The Hunters, they haven't been able to get their win yet, so I mean, you never know. They could have clicked through this week's scrims and pull out some good matches on us, but I don't know. I'm confident in our team.
All right. I mean, who better to say it than the man himself, right? The inside source. So you guys also, for the Aces Deadeyes match, I mean, you guys kind of alluded that Yokaisen might not be on this team. So I guess there's a trade brewing in the horizon, or a possible drop, I guess, of a player. So that might be interesting to look out for. Obviously, you guys probably know more than we do, but it's interesting. It's interesting because I didn't even consider that. Until you guys brought it up.
I don't want to leak anything, but there's definitely some trades that are going to go on with some teams. Not trades, sorry. Definitely some transfers and, like, picking up new players and stuff. Like, I've been talking to some of the managers and stuff, and there's definitely some trades up on the horizon. So keep an eye out on team announcements in the very near future. I'm very interested to see how these teams kind of change up the rosters and stuff. But, yeah, keep an eye out for changes. They're definitely on the books.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the transfers kind of affect everybody going forward. I mean, we haven't really seen too much of the current rosters as it is now, but I mean, I think we'll be able to see a clear difference afterwards. Yeah.
All right. And I guess so. Let's talk about if you can only pick one match. I know it's going to be hard, especially this week. I know it's going to be hard. So if you had to pick one match to watch, which one would you tell them to watch? Nexus, I'll start with you.
Ooh, put me on the spot. Okay. Honestly, I'm torn between either the Blaze and Revolt match or the Vipers and the Halos. If I were to have to pick one, which I mean I do, I'm on the spot. I would say maybe the Blaze versus the Revolt. I don't know. I feel like those are two pretty strong teams. They're not hyper carry teams by any means, but they're just overall really well rounded and strong. So it'll be good to see them clash and see what happens.
All right, Noot, what about you?
I would say the Vipers and the Halos, actually, just because they are hyper carry teams, and you've seen how everyone else plays, but I actually haven't watched any of their games, so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you. If both Banter and Avion show up, I think this is going to be a crazy game. I know the Vipers in Game 5s this season, they've literally gone to Game 5 every single game this season. So yeah. I would not be surprised if that trend continues with this game. But I think it's going to be a crazy close match. And man, the Vipers are just going to pull on my heartstrings the entire season, I guess. I guess that's just the curse they carry. Because all their games have been so close. Especially last week, like I said, can't say it enough. But yeah, I'd say I'm torn between the Vipers Halos and the Blaze Revolt, but I'd have to go with the Vipers Halos.
Honestly, I think if I had to go for a match, I'd say the Aces and the Deadeyes, honestly, with how tough the Aces defense look and how like aggressive I've seen the Dallas Deadeyes get. I feel like if both rosters are like at full capacity, that'd be a really good game to watch against two pretty decently well-rounded teams. So that's my shout for a game of the week.
All right, I like it. Kind of throwing us a curveball. I like it. All right, so I guess now we will we'll take questions from the Manfield Overtime Q&A channel. We can start with those. There's a couple good questions. There's a couple good questions in here. Some memes, of course, but wouldn't be MPC without some memes.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the first question here. And I'll give you guys all. We kind of alluded to this actually. So from Jam Jokes, he says, "Do you expect any big moves or trades after the first 2 weeks of league play?" We kind of talked about this earlier, so.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I kind of touched up upon this earlier, but I feel like if anyone should be making moves here, it should be these lower ranked teams or like those teams that just aren't getting synergy at all. Like I feel like those teams should be looking out for new players. and I know some of them are. I won't drop any names, but I know there are some within the horizon. And maybe, for those higher ranked teams that want to pick up a pretty good, fourth man that aren't really utilizing their last guy, maybe they can make some trades there too. You never know. Maybe they can, might be some trades. I want to see trades. There's no trades that have happened so far this transfer window. I'm interested to see. Switch it up a little bit. Give us a little something.
It's true, and you do have that increased little salary cap now, so there you do have some room to make some moves.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what what some of the lower ranked teams with no wins at the moment, what these trades can do for them in the future, especially now with the increased cap. I think it could be pretty beneficial.
Well, Thrashers are having tryouts yesterday. Just saying.
Oh,
it's true.
Well, they are 2-0. So that's interesting.
There is another team that's having tryouts tonight, if I'm correct.
I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that is.
Ooh.
To be fair, you did announce it in team announcement, so it's not like I'm leaking anything.
And then overrated kind of messed up the days, and there's a whole thing.
It's okay. You know what? we mistakes happen. It's okay. So we'll move on to the next question, and I think this is going to be pretty interesting, especially for you, Noot, because you're kind of in this realm. So Fly Parker asks, in contrast to my question last week, what is the best way to play for a more well-rounded, closer-ranked team?
Honestly,
go ahead.
I think rotations should be a main kind of point of focus. Because if you're well-rounded, you don't have any crazy pop-off player with nutty mechanics, So I think you need to get smooth rotations, then kind of work into some bump demo plays, disrupt the other team's rotations, and you can get a sneaky little goal in there.
It also depends on who you're playing against as well.
Yeah.
If you're playing against a hyper carry team, for sure, go demo the high end.
Take out their highest,
And then team plays and all that stuff.
So ironically enough, we actually kind of saw that from the Aces. They kind of they were looking like they were going to get swept in that game. And thank you. I got delivered ice cream. Sorry about that. It's a brownie sundae too. Let's go. That's a W. That's a W. So anyway, sorry.
Get some PogChamps in the chat for the
ice cream. PogChamps.
Get some ice cream. So yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Because I think when you have a well-rounded team, you really need to focus on fundamentals. Because like you said, Nexus, you're not going to have that pop-off player who's going to go off the ceiling and do a triple touch off the backboard, right? So it's really just making sure that you have those mechanics down. And if you're going to face off against these hyper carry teams, like we saw the Aces, they started to disrupt Avion after game 2, and it was like a totally different team, right? So, and that's how they almost came back and won that whole series. Like they lost in game 5 overtime. Really, you can't get closer than that, right? So, I think the longer the season goes on, I think you'll start to see these more like closer ranked teams doing better because they have that ability to just like play as a unit compared to this other like kind of support play style that they have to play when they're on like hyper carry rosters. Anything, Octo? Anything to add?
Not really. You kind of took the words from my mouth. But if we're gonna move on here, I'm looking at some questions from Twitch chat. Let's see. Bootstrap wants to know what are the odds we're wrong about the Thrashers and they take their game in 4. I'd be very interested, and I'd be very pleasantly surprised by that result. But yeah.
I think if the Thrashers take that game in 4, I think they're solidifying themselves as the top team in the league. And I only say that because of how hard their schedule, like on paper, should have been this early in the season, right? Because they've essentially now, after this week, faced all of the quote-unquote hyper carry teams. So the rest of their season, like if they're doing this well against these teams, which are considered to be top tier, like. They're gonna rain havoc if they keep this up.
Or maybe they could do really well against the high rated teams and kind of crap the bed against the teams they should be beating. That'd be kind of funny.
That is true. That is entirely true.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
That's true. Because you also have to consider too, like all 4 players need to have at least 2 series played after week 6 to be eligible for the midseason, right? So it's like, when are they going to put their 4th in? So it's gonna be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Let's see, we got any other questions? I'll take a look. Let's see. I'm looking through Twitch chat right now. Will Jam be picked up? I think Jam was a ringer for Seattle. I can't tell you that personally. I don't know. Maybe he put up pretty decent numbers during that match. So
I mean, he was their MVP, so I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if Orbit tried to pursue him in some way.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe another team looking to pick him up. Maybe I don't know.
Or Tilted,
I
because
don't know.
hey, I'm just saying, if someone picks Tilted up, he's already got his series played, so
Yeah.
he's good. So I'm just saying.
If any of
Just
you
throw that out
guys, yeah. I think there was one other person that had 2 games played. Am I crazy?
At
Yeah,
Silly, I
at
think?
Silly. If anybody's looking for some free agents that already got their wins on their record, you got Tilton and at Silly. Hey, I didn't tell you that though.
For free agents, don't sleep on Ball Chaser. Lil Dinkle, he goes by both. Don't sleep on him. That's all I can say. Any managers looking, keep your eyes peeled.
All right.
I like it.
Who has like a contra mic right now? Am I crazy?
I heard it too. It's okay.
I
I
heard
was
that too.
so confused.
Was that me?
I don't know. But we figured it out.
I think you're good. The mic is a little weird,
Yeah,
but I think it's fixed.
Yeah, I think we're okay now. But yeah, so honestly, if we don't have any more questions, I think we might wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. As always, Noot, Nexus, thank you guys for coming on. Guys and
Thank you
gals,
for
sorry,
having
for
us.
coming on. We
Nice.
really appreciate it, taking your time out of your day to come talk with us about the happenings of the league and
Yeah.
such.
Happy to be here.
Another thing, do you guys have any shout outs you want to give? You are on the show, so you have the floor. Noot, I'll start with you. Any shout outs?
Go follow Trigger Happy on Twitch.
True, he does a lot of streaming for our games on Saturdays and
Yeah.
Sundays.
Hey, go check
So
him out.
I will shamelessly plug his channel all the time because he does a lot of work for this server and for us, and we cannot thank him enough every time he helps us out,
Mhm.
especially with a lot of production stuff, because we would be overwhelmed without him, to say the least. What about you, Nexus?
My turn? All right. Shout out to my mom. I love you very much.
Oh,
Simp.
Oh, dude, that's so wholesome.
That's very wholesome. Let's go Sharks, and shout out to Ball Chaser.
Beautiful.
Gotta get that in there.
okay.
I like it. But yeah, basically, I'm just gonna do some plugs now. Like I said earlier, this will be on Spotify, so I'll be uploading the audio through Anchor, which is the distribution platform I use, and it'll be up on Spotify and a couple other random podcast sites that you probably don't use. The VOD will always be available on Twitch. We'll probably upload this to YouTube as well, because we figured out how to export VODs to YouTube. So that let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, technology's new and awesome.
And I will probably be releasing the week 3 prediction form tonight. That way people have time to fill it out. So if you'd like to get that shiny prediction oracle roll that you see Oracle has, or that Oracle has, the Bootstrap has, for this week, you can get that shiny roll too if you get enough guesses correct on match wins and series scores. Each one counts for 1, and that's how I tally it up at the beginning of each week, and it will change every week. So if you'd like to participate in that fun little side challenge, I always offer it up every week. I love doing it. I always think it's interesting to see how people vote towards what teams, and I kind of use that data for when I cast and stuff as well. So it's always pretty interesting.
You don't have to be. You don't even have to be like a member to vote. You could just be in the
It's
Discord.
true.
You could just
Yep.
vote. Why not?
As long as you're a part of the Discord, you can vote. I don't mind. If there's 30 of you, I will go through them all. I don't care. I always think it's really fun to see what people think, even if they're just guessing, because sometimes guessing is the best way to do it, because you have no idea what's going to happen some of these weekends, man. It has been absolutely insane, and I can't wait to see more of it. That's going to be it.
So I think we have a question from Herb actually in the chat.
Okay.
All right.
What's up,
let me
Herb?
know
What
Why
do you
have
got?
my only 2 goals been good goals? Guys, any input?
Let's. Why is the 2 goals been
Why
good?
have only 2 of his goals been good goals?
Maybe
I don't know, man.
clinical, man. I don't know what else to say.
Maybe check the replays, buddy. I don't know. That's tough. Unlucky, I guess.
That's what I'd say. Yeah, you got to check
Maybe
the
stop
replays.
typing and start playing the game more, buddy. I don't know.
Shots fired, man.
Uh-oh.
Some
Listen,
some friendly banter.
Only the friendliest banter here in this channel.
Radiant banter.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, also, I'll put out a form maybe later tonight. So as you know, you guys have to be in the Discord for like match times and stuff like that. So I'm trying to think about possible ways we can incentivize you guys to use your boosts on this server. So we're thinking possible like text channels that only boost Nitro boosters can talk in, or something like that. Just some kind of incentive to get you guys to use your boosts here. Because as much as my 2 boosts do a lot of work, it's sometimes not enough, and better voice quality and more emotes and stuff is always better. So that's something else we're thinking about. And as always, if you have any questions, message the ModMail bot. I love you guys, but please don't DM me. Or Octo.
We'll strike
I love you guys.
We'll strike you. No.
I love you guys.
No, we will
I don't
strike
like getting,
you.
like,
I
10
don't
DMs
care.
a day.
I will strike every single one of you. I don't care.
Especially with the way that.
Above the law.
Also, oh, what else was I gonna say? Oh, read the rule book.
Read it. We'll be back again.
Especially after last night. Please read the rule book.
Every single one of you that are planning to or are already involved with the league, whether it be playing or managing or whatever, like as Viper said, just read the rule book. Read the rule book, please. Like it's really not that bad. Like it's not like an assignment or anything. Just skim through it if anything. Just get the basics,
If you ask Trigger Happy, he'll read it to you. I'm just saying that's what I do. It's great.
No.
Okay, well,
nighttime story.
Yeah, you're gonna tuck you in and read you the rule book.
I read the rule book like it's the Bible. Okay.
I mean, it should be. It is the Bible. It is the Bible of the Mainfield Pro Circuit. So, we just encourage you, because I guarantee you, 99% of your questions that you probably have or want to ask staff are probably answered in the rulebook. So just go check there before you ask us. Not that we don't like interacting with you guys, but it's like, if it's a question we've been asked 5 times that's clearly stated in the rulebook, might get a little annoyed.
No, it gets annoying.
He's more blunt than I am. I try to be too nice.
It gets annoying. Just read the rulebook, man, please.
Also, I'm going to say it right here, right now. We're going to make a channel reward on this channel. I don't know how high we're going to make it, but if we make it like an 80,000 point reward or something like that, I will do an episode of Overtime in Suit. I don't care. God. I will do it. I will do it. To the chagrin of Octo, I will do it.
I'm not encouraging this behavior.
It's a pain, but I will do it. Because I know people get a kick out of it, and I think it's hilarious. So we'll discuss a point value, and we'll make it a channel reward. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Overtime. Love you guys so much. Again, just make sure you message the ModMail bot if you have questions. That way all of staff can see it, and that means we can get back to you faster. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Noot, Nexus, any final words?
No, I don't think so.
Not really.
Read the rulebook.
All right. Yes,
read the rulebook. Yeah,
we're gonna say that at the end of every episode. Every episode, I swear we're gonna say that.
Feel free to message the owners, guys. They're always here for you.
Yeah.
Even for personal problems, they're just really good people.
Listen, I love you guys, but we are busy people. We have lives. Me and him are still in school, so we got stuff going on. That's why anytime, I always like to pop into the 6-man's queue from time to time. So if you're playing 6-mans, you might see me in the queue. I might play a few games with you guys. I gotta prove that I'm not washed. And I just gotta assert my dominance sometimes. You know how it is.
Wait, what rank are you?
Me? I'm C3.
Ah, interesting.
See, not washed.
Potential pickup eyes emoji.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Someone asked me that. They were like, "Why don't you play?" And I'm like, "There's a lot of reasons why I don't play." But yeah, so that's gonna be it for us. We've kind of been dragging this on a little too long, so we're gonna cut this off here. Noot, Nexus, thank you guys so much for coming on the show and talking with us. We always appreciate it. Good luck in your next games. And Octo, if you have any final words, I think we're gonna end this episode.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, all the viewers that showed up, and all the viewers that are like listening through Spotify and like whatever else. And read the rulebook, please.
That's what the 5th time.
We're gonna make a chat command called !rulebook, and it's just gonna be like read the rulebook and then link to the document.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the stream before we ramble on about the rulebook any longer. But read it. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Adios.
Good night, everyone.